Hello to all you out there who love truth and would make any sacrifice in order to avoid lying to yourselves, demeaning yourselves, or in any way debasing yourselves, just to satisfy someone else's fiat. There are those out there who command a person be a slave to their arrogant ignorance. Those people have existed for a long time. They come in many forms and they excuse their wretched existences by many means, none of which are honorable. But they love pretending honor. They love presenting themselves as if they were descendants of royalty. All they are disgusting byproducts of untold centuries of corruption. Just as in the ancient past, so today they use all the same techniques of coercion and deception. And if one reflects carefully, those are really two aspects of the same fraud. For to deceive is to coerce the perceptions and the cognitive faculties of a being, either by misrepresenting the data that it must use in order to understand the reality in which it will make decisions, or else to, in some way, inappropriately influence its very processes of decision making by more invasive means. Likewise, coercion is nothing more than a deception, in that in order to convince someone that they should do something, they are threatened and tormented as if they were meant to believe a deception about what's worthier, a comfortable body surrounded by conditions administered by demons, metaphysical frauds, or the purity of a spirit untrammeled by such cowardice. Or as Socrates had said, it's as if to fool them into believing that they should fear or be ashamed of what they ought not, when in fact there's something they ought rather fear and be ashamed of, such as being spiritual whores, doing the bidding of people who pretend to be their friends but are doing nothing more than using them as turnkey lackeys. It's one thing to serve those who would serve you and do so in an equitable manner. It's another thing to put on the pretense of that in order to carry on fraudulent conduct, which is to say misconduct, which is to say coercion and deception. Only deep-seated cowards do that. And they want you to join them. They want you to join their cowardly enterprise because they know deep inside it's wretched. They can't stomach suffering their fate alone. That's the thing about them. They need others to suffer with them in order to lighten the pain of their sentence, which is the sentence for all cowards and liars, frauds, which is the painful disassemblage of their very being. Their bodies will be torn apart soon enough by time, even if they enjoy physically the most exquisitely comfortable conditions. Eventually it'll be ripped from them. They're too stupid and foolish to understand that, which means they've been deceived. Likewise, they wish you to be deceived. They wish you to be just like them. They wish you to be ignorant, arrogant, foolish, and kid yourselves. Kid yourselves that it's worthwhile somehow engaging in their stupid frauds with them, or being intimidated by their crap sack antics and charlatanry. These bastards have been the fifth column which had debased humankind long ago. The dying embers of the occasional enlightenments which have, for some gracious cause, been presented to the world through human or human-like beings, are notwithstanding and are exceptions to the rule. So I've seen that cities have become prisons, and really, in essence, have always been prisons, in that the codes which bind the conduct, which inform the permissions to build and conduct activities within the limits of its corrupt jurisdictions, have always been administered, have always been created and promulgated by frauds. For example, right now, as I've stated, and as many have stated, and it is well known that counterfeiters are running a racket and are superimposing, by coercion and deception, what can be valid economic, social, cultural content, like some kind of badly plastered facade over their corrupt doings, and have used that as a shield in order to misrepresent what in the end is their intention, in fact, which is to aggrandize themselves at the expense of others, to cause others suffering more explicitly in order to enjoy the fruits of that suffering, which is that they will be continuously ensconced in their debased and false thrones by the demons who enjoy, on a metaphysical level, the juice which flows from the blood of those who suffer under those damned fools who serve them. In the same way, the human being, ontologically, as the mated pair with a gestating child, is the very essence of the same facade which covers the rancid and demonic vices of their true character with the outward presentation of the fluorescence of life. And this has been epitomized by the manifestation of their endeavor as the innocent child which is born from them. That innocent child, innocent only because it has not yet filled itself out with the fullness of its development, so that it could displace all that outward innocence with an inwardly debased and turnkey, corrupt kind of personality, is constantly fostered in the world and misrepresented as an abundance of what the human nature is really, as if there were still some innocent core within these stick figure-like falsehoods compared to the fully fleshed out human being endowed with the Spirit of God, when in fact that innocence is now worn merely as an outward mask. It is the falsification of their corrupt personage that they carry on acting also as professional and good people who really care about better interests of themselves and all others in some commonwealth of good and civil development of the human condition, which is a complete lie to which they pay lip service, having plagiarized those who could back those words with substance and originally formulated them in all the ways that matter. That is all they've accomplished. The carrying on of a long parade of mockeries all the way until today. And they gaslight anyone who knows better by using all the old tactics that they still use, but now with advanced technological augmentations. Having borne witness to that in this life, and having suffered because of being honest about it, whether I was witting about what my honesty uncovered or was naive about it, yet nevertheless all along sensing, intuiting some fundamental integrity in the positions that I took, knowingly and unknowingly, throughout my life. It has all reached a point like this, a point like so many that have been reached in the past by so many others, and also in the present. And it is simply a testimony to the truth that I have borne witness to this and now express what I conceive to be the most accurate and efficient description of it, which I am able to produce, but at this time it is hamstrung by the conditions in which I am currently engrossed. But to transcend and to stand against and to completely oppose with utter spiritual hatred and hostility these damned liars, traitors, murderers, and cowards is the minimum I can do in any possible world, and in this one, perhaps the maximum. But that's not the maximum that can be done or will be done. Very soon, for it is imminent and constantly so. All these horrifically disgusting pretenses and pretexts will be disintegrated, and people will be forced to demonstrate who and what they really are.